and Steve Roderick, advisors at the Baldwin Group, every Monday as they catapult the multifamily industry forward by providing education and information. Let's get into this week's episode with our very special guest.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, good morning, David. How are you, sir?
Oh, I am doing just fine. I am actually feeling pretty happy today.
So I'm glad that you're happy today because our special guest this morning here on Car Chat, I have for you Mr. David Peña, and he's the founder of a company called Happy HOA. David, thank you so much for joining us. Do you think you could tell us and our viewers a little bit about yourself and what is Happy HOA? What do you guys do in the community association world?
Thank you for having me. Happy HOA, it's a software for HOA management. We want to improve communication, payments, everything that you do in a day-to-day basis to manage an HOA and for all the residents. It's basically technology, so you live more happy in your community. That's why it's called Happy HOA.
Okay, that's pretty catchy. I really like it. What brought you to actually focus on this niche market and bring your product to HOAs?
I'm originally from a small city, and I used to live like in a single family home, just no HOA, everything simple. But when I moved for the university, I started to live in an apartment building that had an HOA. And I realized that it was the most expensive bill that I had to pay. It was more expensive than electricity, the water, everything. And obviously in the university, money is scarce. So I had to check out how the financial services that were doing, how they were spending all the money that we paid and everything. And we saw an opportunity there to give technology to the problem. So I studied computer engineering. I went to do some AI classes at Stanford, and we started working this problem around 10 years ago. I see that it's a problem everywhere. We work in around 8 countries, mostly in Latin America, and for a year now in the United States, in the market in Florida, and everyone has problems with their HOAs, so that's where technology can help.
All right, so Happy HOA, you're focusing on making condos and HOA management easier, if not happier. But what kind of problems do you specialize at solving for boards and for managers?
Okay, so we have different kinds of clients. For example, if the HOA is self-managed, we provide everything from accounting to a payment method, everything that normally a professional management company would do, you can do it in Happy HOA for all the financial things. If you already have that solved, we have all the community features for messaging boards, voting, you can have virtual assemblies, everything for communication, to communicate better. And if you already have that solved also, we have a lot of for security too. We can connect to every access control that you have, like hardware for registering visits, register vendors that go to the HOA. So we have those 3 big verticals, all the financial, all the communication, and all the security.
Now, on the financials, do you have, I imagine it's not like you have your own logbox, or are you synchronizing with other services or synchronizing with the bank? How does that work?
Yeah, we connect with Stripe, and we're working to connect ClickPay for all the transparency in the bank account. We connect with a tool named Plaid. Plaid basically connects to your bank account with your HOA bank account, and you can have all the transactions from the bank account into our system. So the accounting is much simpler.
So transparency and communication are huge in this industry. How does your platform help improve trust between the boards, the managers, and the unit owners, the residents?
As you have everything in just one platform, everything that's done by the, let's say, accounting firm, or if it's a self-managed company, self-managed HOA by the board, you have it in real time in the system. So if the board, for example, wants to audit all the work, they can log in and they can see in real time all the transactions from the bank account. They can confirm that the vendors have been paid and that the amount that you're saying you're spending is the correct one. We started in Latin America because that is a huge problem in Latin America, like people stealing money from the HOAs. And I think it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago that we started reading this news about HOA presidents stealing money in the United States and going to jail. And we realized that it's a global problem. Like transparency needs to be a priority for HOAs so the money is not wrongly spent.
Where are your operations based out of, and most of your staff located?
We have 2 offices right now. One is in Miami, and the other one is in Palo Alto, California. I'm actually traveling there next week for the Stanford Acceleration Program that we got selected last week. So we're very happy with that. But everyone works remotely from whatever place they want in the world. That allows us to access a lot more talent than a normal company. We have people from everywhere, so we get like the best talent from all the geos, and we can synchronize them using technology. That's why we're good at technology.
All right. If you had to convince me as a board member to switch over or as a management company to consider a happy HOA, what is the one feature that you think sets you miles apart from the rest of the competition?
I wouldn't say a feature. I would say the service. Every single client gets a rep. It's not if you're a 500 HOA management company, you get different treatment that if you just manage one or you're a self-managed company. You get a rep. They get all of your requirements. If you need new features, we are very fast at creating new features. Right now, we're working in at least 16 projects. So I wouldn't say it's one feature. I would say it's the service. You get a much better service. We don't have those like AI robots support agents that just answer you something that's very vague and general. We have people that gets involved with your community and they try to help you as much as they can.
I have an interesting question for you here, David. Now, there's a lot of productivity software out there that's engineered to really help people do their jobs better, but a lot of times it can actually become more cumbersome and you have a lot of different programs. You guys seem pretty integrated though. But again, so can you tell us how it is that your platform is different, that it's actually taking work off of the community manager's desk because they're really busy? It's not just adding another program that they got to learn how to use.
I would say two things that are very important. One, HOA managers and everyone working in the company have a lot of work. You know it. David knows it. I know it. But a lot of the times the community don't know it.
Right.
They don't get reports on how many times people went to the HOA to see problems, how many work they did on the month. The fact that you have an app like Happy HOA, with every visit, you can take a picture, upload it to the maintenance features, and then you can get a report every week posted on the bulletin board. We have done this every week. You can show that work a lot. I would say that's the first thing. And the second thing, I've seen a lot of managers having to use a lot of different tools. So the difference with us is that we already have that everything integrated in just one app. So you don't need to input twice, for example, payments. You don't have to input twice, for example, vendors. You can have everything in Happy HOA accessible by everyone. And if you have someone that works on the infrastructure requests, you can have him as a profile and accessing that module. So the HOA manager, the board can see working in real time, and all the pictures, videos are seen also in real time. So you can get everything in terms of reporting automatically. You don't have to do a report later on what the job was. So I would say that you can save a lot of money not having to input things in many tools. You just have one Happy HOA, and that's it.
Love it.
Gotcha. Seems like your Stanford education did you some good, and that you really have studied the problems that you faced when you were in university, found some solution, and we're glad that we are happy that you're bringing them to.
And I'm also right now the president of my HOA board, so I'm living the problem every day too.
All right, well, that's good. At least you are the beta tester for all the new features. With all these 6,000 plus communities using the platform, what's the one lesson that you have learned working with associations? Maybe the biggest lesson.
That's a good question. I think I started the company thinking that we were in the tech business, but we are in the service business, just like the managers. We know that the software is mission critical. So if an HOA manager trusts in our tool, he puts his work online. Like, he can be fired if we don't do our job. So we take that responsibility very serious. Everyone in the company knows that. Like, a problem, a ticket, a request for a feature, it's not just a client asking for a product. It's us giving the service that the client needs to keep their job. That's very important for us.
So you have a truly international company, right? I'm just curious, and I'm sure David's curious as well. What's your favorite country or place to visit?
Honestly, the United States, because there's just so many offers there. If you want to have fun for a week, you go to Disney in Orlando. If you want to see sightseeing that are beautiful, you do the 101 in California, like visiting all the beaches. If you want to ski, you go to Tahoe. There's just so many things to see in the United States that it's impossible to know it all in a lifetime, I believe. But maybe other than that, I would say the Netherlands. I really like their food, their partying, and everything that they have like in cities like Amsterdam.
If after all your trip you still have money and you want to go broke, you can go back to Disney and I'll take care of that for you. We appreciate you jumping on the show with us. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you next week for the next episode of Community Association Car Chat.